You know that movie, The Italian Job? Well, that's exactly what Inter just did to Munich, except in last night's showing, Inter were calculated, executed their plan to perfection before driving off into the sunset. Actually, it feels like that analogy might need some explaining. So, roll VT. Munich 1, Inter 2. Two lapses in concentration from a Munich team which has effectively been thrown together. Well, that handed a win to Inter. Yeah, it felt smash and grab, but you should expect nothing less from an Italian team. You know, that's a side that is comfortable and disciplined out of possession, but like Ezio in Assassin's Creed, they've got that gut feeling to know when to strike. Okay, to start out with then, let's address the injury list that Vincent Kompany is juggling. I suppose actually all teams end up juggling this in the modern game, especially during the business end of a season where fixtures pile up like cheap goods in a discount superstore. Hence the dynamics of football these days, right? It's become one of a squad-based game. And in Kompany's defence, it feels like the squad that he inherited is not quite comparable to a Munich team of a bygone era. I mean, that's a theme for a whole different video. And a disclaimer, by the way, I'm not talking about the quality per se, as much as I'm talking about the depth as for the number of positions that Kompany's got to play with. If you take a look at their opponents, Inter, well, it's in a well-oiled squad, but not only that, but they've got at least two household names for each position. I tell you what, let's keep this reaction focused on last night's matchup, right? Otherwise, we'll just disappear down a rabbit hole. As a result of injuries to key players, big-brained Vincent Kompany, well, he effectively had to assemble a team of versatile players being played outside of their natural positions. For example, and I can't believe this roll call, he's got a central midfielder at right back, that's Konrad Laimer. He's got a central defender at left back, that's Josip Stanisic. He's got a DM in defence in Eric Dyer. And the most fascinating one of all is he's got a left back playing in central midfield, effectively as a number 10, and that was Rafael Guerrero. Yeah, okay, each and every one of them is a professional athlete, and they will have experience of playing in different positions. That's at one point through their careers, you know, during their development from the lower league of the game. And that's on top of every day being in training sessions with some of the brightest tactical coaches that money can buy. Let's just manage expectations, though, for a second, that to throw that makeshift team together, like you would do in Football Manager, against an Inter team with a surgical level of discipline, it was never going to end well, was it? Come on, be honest, right? Not just with me, but with yourself. I mean, in that sense, well, Munich, they deserve all the plaudits just for achieving what was a relatively respectable outcome. The fact they managed to score against Inter at all, you know, is worth clapping in. Don't forget that Inter had only conceded 2 goals in the Champions League going into that game. 2 goals. This game could have had a very different outcome had England's Harry Kane hit the net instead of the post on 25 minutes. It was a miss that was just out of character from a guy who physically just didn't look at his best. You've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, though. He has been carrying an ankle injury. It does highlight, though, that Munich's got this high dependency on him to fire. He scored 10 out of Munich's 29 goals in the Champions League so far. If we analyse the goals for a moment, this might expose some of the problems and solutions that Vincent Kompany is going to need to come up with in the second leg. Konrad Laimer, well, he's out of position when trying to track Carlos Augusta. By the way, what a bargain he's turned out to be at just 14 million. Eric Dyer, well, he's ball watching when that cross from Augusto comes in. Min Jae Kim is nowhere near close enough to Thuram. And what an incredibly deft touch for a big man. He cushions that ball down and lays it off like a ballerina. And no one is picking up Martinez as he runs on through. Kimmich is trailing in his wake, and the best he could do in that scenario is probably put him off balance from behind. And that finish, by the way, from Martinez is as wildly audacious as it is beautiful. I mean, a game of this magnitude, with these high stakes, yeah, it deserved a goal of that quality. Hang it in the Louvre, son. Hang it in the Louvre. Just a note on being clinical, by the way. That was Inter's first shot on goal in the match. They went on to have 4 in total and scored from 2 of them. If you contrast that with Munich, well, they only managed 7 shots on target. Munich's goal comes at a moment when Inter appeared to relax, most likely thinking, right, we've done enough here to blunt Munich. To assign credit, though, where it's due to Munich, they had wrestled the momentum back in that game at around about the hour mark. Lima's natural instincts as a wide midfielder put him in the right place at the right time to put a ball into the box. And the old man Muller, who came on for Leroy Sané, Thomas Muller that is, well, he found the space that Harry Kane wasn't able to and just tapped in to while he was unmarked into the net for 1-1. Muller came in clutch, albeit temporarily, for his 57th Champions League goal. He's just 2 shy now of the Ukraine hitman Andrei Shevchenko. It's at that point when it looked like company had just indicated for Munich to press on for a winner, which feels like tactical naivety on his part. Perhaps even Muller was swept away by all the hype, caught up in the vanity of his own power, because he could win that match and put Munich on course for the final in his final. It's enough finals. And what's that old adage I hear you say? You're at your most vulnerable to concede when you've just scored. Well, empirical truth or not, that's exactly what happened to Munich. It's a simple ball carried out the back from Inter by Barella, who had a great game, by the way. He was more impactful than his counterpart, Joshua Kimmich. Inter goes 6 for 6 with Munich. Eric Dyer doesn't step up for offside. As a result, he's chasing shadows going backwards. Sasha Boe, well, he's caught way out of position. That was from a pass that just went out wide by an intelligent thinking Martinez. Augusto again is free to run. He whips in a dangerous ball with Dyer out of position and no Kim to back him up. Fratesi sweeps the ball in on the 88th minute for a smash and grab 2-1 win to Inter. I mean, Inter came and delivered on a Italian brand of football. Yeah, got to give credit that to Anthony of Inter Worldwide. Go and check out that channel. Very interesting guy. They came to set up gnarly with a low block. They absorbed high pressure from Olise and Sané. They kept their shape and discipline when 1-0 up. Didn't panic when they considered the equaliser. And then they stepped up the aggression when it really counted to catch Munich with their pants down. That goal on that break was electric. Just a brief word on Munich's midfield. Kimmich and Goretzka, well, mathematically and actually physically, they were out-muscled by Inter's midfield 3. Kimmich, well, he racked up the most touches of a Munich player, which he typically does. However, he just felt underwhelming. Even the old boy, Henry Mkhitaryan, yes, thank you, Gonzo, ex-Arsenal at some point in his career. Mkhitaryan, age 36. Well, he outdid Kimmich in terms of raw output. That's tackles, interceptions and recoveries. None of Kimmich's 7 corners were as effective as they have been of late. You've got to give credit, though, to Inter's tight man marking. I mean, they eat that up every mealtime. Mamma mia. And even Goretzka, bless him. LA Fitness Goretzka. Well, he was a little below par. Whilst he did carry the ball forward into Inter's third on 3 occasions, he didn't register a shot on goal, and neither did he make a single tackle. However, he did make a crucial interception on Martinez. That was to prevent Inter from going 2-0 up. And a little note on a little man filling big shoes, Jonas Erbig. Well, he stood up when it counted, right? At one point, he stopped Munich from going 2-0 down with a brave reaction save from his upper body to save a rasping drive from Martinez. It doesn't feel like this tie is over yet, although company will be praying that Harry Kane is in better physical and mental shape. Plus, he needs to put the defence on a crash course in positioning. Otherwise, Martinez and Thuram are going to run riot in the San Siro with 80,000 fans screaming at home. Company should also take accountability over the Guerrero number 10 experiment. That didn't work. Guerrero only had 37 touches. Coincidentally, that's the same number of touches as keeper Erbig. Technically, it was 39 because he had to retrieve the ball out of the net twice. Guerrero only carried the ball forward once into the Inter penalty box. Okay, you could argue that is actually the responsibility of the two wide players, Olise and Sané. Still, Guerrero didn't record a single key pass. And I really don't want to shit on the guy. Like I said up top, there's a few others, a bit like Conrad Laimer, that are being asked to play outside their comfort zone in an unnatural position. There's no harm to be done by playing Thomas Muller in at number 10 in what could be his last ever Champions League game. It's do or die, and that guy, a bit like John Wick, just doesn't know when to die. As for our one to watch for Munich, it was Michael Olise, the 23-year-old French attacking midfielder, ex-Crystal Palace. He had 86 touches, and that breaks down as around about 3 shots. 2 of them are on target. He put in 5 crosses, and on 3 times he carried the ball forward into the Inter penalty box. And our one to watch for Inter was Markus Thuram, the big physical 27-year-old French striker. He racked up 29 touches, 8 of those were in the penalty box, had 2 shots of his own, and he had 1 artisan assist. Like I say, that deft touch to lay it off was like a ballerina. Clap that in, Markus Thuram. See, proves that Marco Rosa, he knew how to sign a player. He once signed him for Mönchengladbach. Here's an interesting fact to see us out. UEFA won't allow Munich to wear that red jersey with the black numbers in the Champions League. That's on the basis that the black numbers violate visibility regulations. In short, those black numbers don't provide enough contrast for the viewers. A change to white would suffice, however that would break the colour Bible set by Adidas. I wonder how much that's costing the club in terms of a lack of earnings from exposure. And actually, UEFA won't allow Munich to wear that even if they get all the way to the final, which is in the Allianz Arena. You know, you'd think it'd be a case of my house, my rules, but no. UEFA won't allow it. Just thought you might find it interesting. And that's it. Another shortish video from us. How did you rate Munich's performance? What tactical changes would you make in the second leg? And what did you think of our prediction? You know the drill by now. Let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks as ever for the support. It means so much to us. If you could find it in your heart to give us a like and even go one step further and subscribe, well, not only would that be wonderbar, but it would increase the awareness of the channel. As ever, don't worry, a like and a subscribe is at your free will. We're back soon with a reaction to Dortmund's trip to Barcelona in the Champions League quarter-final. Let's hope they come back with more than a fridge magnet from Sagrada Familia. I'll be the same for now. Thanks as ever for the support, and we'll see you very soon.